The clinking of poker chips echoed through the dimly lit saloon like the rhythm of a man's downfall. Eli Turner had once owned half the valley, horses, land, a future worth living for. But now, he sat at that same poker table where his life had started to crumble. The cards on the table weren't just numbers and symbols. They were the ghosts of his past, the choices that had led him here. He'd gambled for years trying to forget the war, the debts, and the loneliness that came after his wife's passing. That night, the stakes were everything he had left, his land, his name, and whatever pride he could still call his own. Across from him sat men with sharper eyes and colder hearts, men who'd win not with luck, but with cruelty. When Eli laid his final card down, silence fell. The dealer smirked. He'd lost everything. The saloon doors creaked as laughter echoed. Eli didn't move. He stared at the cards, numb. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from realization. He had nothing left to lose. As he rose to leave, he heard a voice. Soft, gentle, but strong. "You played fair, mister," he turned. A woman stood there, maybe in her 30s, wearing a worn shawl and holding the hand of a small boy. Her eyes weren't filled with pity. They were filled with understanding. "My husband lost everything to those same men," she said quietly. "He didn't live long after." Eli looked down, guilt mixing with grief. "Then you should stay away from men like me," he muttered. But she smiled faintly. "Maybe you're not like them. Maybe you just forgot who you were." That night, Eli slept behind the saloon, cold, defeated, and lost. By dawn, the widow brought him coffee and bread. She said her name was Clara. Her boy's name was Henry. Over the next few days, Eli helped fix the fence near her small house. He worked silently, driven by guilt, but drawn by something else. Peace. Clara's laughter filled the air like a melody he hadn't heard in years. Henry followed him everywhere, asking about horses, guns, and card tricks. For the first time in a long while, Eli stopped thinking about what he'd lost and started seeing what he could still build. When the same gamblers came back to town, Eli didn't pick up his cards. He stood beside Clara instead, and when they mocked him, he simply said, "I've already won what I was looking for." Months passed. The saloon faded into the background. Eli taught Henry how to ride. Clara taught Eli how to forgive himself. And one quiet evening, under the golden sky, Eli placed an old poker chip on the porch railing, his last reminder of that cursed table. He smiled at Clara and said, "Guess I finally learned the only hand worth playing is the one life gives you." She took his hand and replied, "And this time you didn't lose. Fade out. A man who gambled away everything found the one thing worth keeping, a family."